Well, did you see the mapper thing from the I don't know which guy it was. He was just like, yeah, Chainsaw Man didn't do as well as we kind of thought it would do. Jujutsu Kaisen did way better.
Yeah, it was actually a commercial flop.
Yeah.
Like,
really?
Yeah, like they I saw in an article like they made close to no money off of Chainsaw Man.
Yeah,
I think they broke even.
I don't even think they broke even.
I think the article headline that at least I saw, again, this is me reading article headlines in the article. It's like Chainsaw Man was a success, but didn't have the same impact that Jujutsu Kaisen did. For the company.
Yeah,
like for Mappa.
I don't get it.
Because I don't get it. I started thinking, I was like, the Chainsaw Man kind of came, and everyone was like, "Yo!" And at least in Japan, this is not online in the Western sphere. This is Japan. Everyone's like, "Yo, Chainsaw Man!" 3 months, and it was like, okay. And then, but like, whereas Jujutsu Kaisen, it felt like it just wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
Like Jujutsu Kaisen just felt like it was, and then the movie came out, and that was huge.
Yeah, the movie was a huge commercial success.
It just felt like Jujutsu Kaisen hype did not die in Japan. And then I guess when I heard that, I was like, yeah, that does kind of make sense when I think about how it was being in Japan only. Nothing to do with online discourse or anything like that. Just being in Japan, Jujutsu Kaisen was fucking everywhere.
I think what Jujutsu Kaisen did really well was that they kind of had this like constant stream of new content happening as well, because it was like the first season happened, and then not too long after that there was like the movie, and in between that there was lots of promotional stuff, and now like, second season and all that kind of stuff. Whereas Chainsaw Man, it was kind of just like, here's 12 episodes and nothing so far.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's the weird thing though. When did people start getting hyped over Jujutsu Kaisen? Because
right away.
Really? Because it felt. Did you start watching it right away? Because it felt like when I first started watching, like, let's say the first arc of Jujutsu Kaisen, I was like, oh, this is a hyped up new shonen that everyone talked about. Let's see what it's about. And I'm like, oh, it's good. It's good. And like I didn't really see much discussion or talk about it, and then it just felt like overnight everyone was watching it, and I was like, what happened, or when did this happen? At which stage did everyone start watching Jujutsu Kaisen? Because at least
I think it was the moment when Gojo came out.
Oh shit, it might be.
I think Gojo.
Fuck, you know what it was? It was the fucking eye scene.
It was the eye scene.
God, that
eye scene was clipped and uploaded everywhere.
Holy shit, you're so right.
I also think, like, when I watched Chainsaw Man, I thought it, honestly, when you compare them both, you're like, Chainsaw Man is maybe a little too much, like in terms of like when you're thinking about a general audience.
Yeah.
Like, it's very sexual, very, very sexual.
It's very weird.
It's very weird. The gore is fucking intense, which makes fit for all things that I love, and I really fucking dig it. But I could see how on like a general scale, how something like Jujutsu Kaisen would be way easier to market with.
Yeah.
When you have these characters. And it's about killing fucking, there's not guns and there's not humans being killed. A lot of the times it's mainly these spirits. And some of the cast, maybe some of them get hurt and stuff. But you know what I mean? Like it when you sit down and look at it from like a business perspective, it would make it does make more sense
for a broader audience.
that in Japan as a whole, that something like Jujutsu Kaisen would pop off more, even though Chainsaw Man was marketed towards like teenagers here.
I mean, I feel that's like a reason why like Demon Slayer, for example, was so huge in Japan. Right? Because I think on a broader scale of things, it's so much more aspects to that show that are just so much easily marketable to as wide of an audience as possible. Whereas Chainsaw Man, I feel a lot of the hype that was created around Chainsaw Man was two-part. It was the fans of the manga of Chainsaw Man and the fact that Mappa's name was
definitely felt like the Western hype for it was so much more intense than what I saw in Japan.
Yeah,
for sure.
I also feel like I also feel like Chainsaw Man only being 12 episode kind of hurt it a lot as well.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that was the biggest factor, because I'm kind of realizing now, especially with long running battle shonen, you need more than 12 episodes to sell a shonen show. I mean, Demon Slayer, now one of the highest grossing anime franchises of all time. Before episode 18, I remember no one really fucking watched Demon Slayer. And then suddenly everyone was watching Demon Slayer because of like one banger moment in episode 18. And I remember for that moment, I was like, I remember I literally made a video about Demon Slayer being like, oh, I don't think many people are watching this when it first came out. And then it just blew up overnight. And I feel like something similar happened with Jujutsu Kaisen as well, where it kind of
the Gojo I seen, bro.
The Gojo I
seen. 12 episodes though, right? No, did they have 24?
Sorry?
Jujutsu Kaisen only had 12 episodes though, right?
No, he had 24.
24.
At 24.
Oh, that's probably why it felt so fucking good to watch. I mean, like Vinland Saga now, I'm watching it weekly, and I'm like, I already know what's going to happen, but I fucking love that we have 20, like, I can get my teeth in it, you know what I mean? 24 episodes, I'm like, all right, buckle up, all right. It feels like watching it weekly, the investment is worth more.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's gonna swing around.
Yeah, because I feel like with Chainsaw Man, it's like the 12 episodes barely got me invested into.
Well, they didn't even get to like the meat of the story yet, right?
Yeah.
It does kind of suck because and they're like, all right, wait 3 years now.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Exactly. Because it's like if I compare the first 12 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen, we're going to start a war right now, by the way. If I compare the first 12 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen versus the first 12 episodes of Chainsaw Man, I would say I more prefer Chainsaw Man. But now that the final product is there were more banger moments in Jujutsu Kaisen because it had 24 episodes and had some really, really good fucking fights in the second half, which is my favorite part of the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen's fights went hard.
Yeah, and I don't even feel like Jujutsu Kaisen has even come close to reaching its peak, which is why it's good. They're both good, but they're both shonen shows that, in my eyes, have not come close to reaching their full potential yet.
Is Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 24 episodes as well?
Yes, it has just been
likely.
confirmed to be 24 episodes.
They're cooking.
I mean, they'd be doing a disservice if they only gave you 12 episodes.
I'd rather wait like 3 years and get 24 episodes than wait 1 year and get 12 episodes. Because I don't know what it is. Something about like, you often can't reach a good climax in 12 episodes without it feeling rushed for like this kind of shonen.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that's why like the later seasons of like Attack on Titan struggled a lot, right? Because it's like we were only given like small increments of like 12 episodes where it would have just been much better if we just gave us a huge chunk of 24 episodes to actually invest ourselves in. And now like the hype for it is like kind of slowly dwindling away because it's like, oh fuck, we have to wait again for the continuation. Yeah.
I'm kind of starting to realize how unimpactful 12 episodes is, because there's so many 12 episodes anime that I like, but now when I think about the anime I'm excited about, it's all of them that have like multiple seasons, right? Yeah. That have a longer ongoing story than just 12 episodes. I'm trying to think of like,
just imagine if 1% of the power that One Piece animation had was put into other shit. We'd get so many episodes. We get so many episodes, dude. I don't know. I definitely, again, like watching Vinland Saga really has made me appreciate that. Yeah. Like, I mean, MAP is animating that. Yeah. Like the fact they were given so much time to let that story breathe. And, because I think there could have been an argument where a lot of fans would be like, the fucking farm arc is boring, yada, yada, yada. It's not. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is what like maybe people would say. Because a lot of people were worried that anime watchers wouldn't like the new season of Vinland Saga. So they're like, what the fuck? Why is nothing happening?
Yeah.
But I think it really, really helps sell that story in particular and helps get the message across by just having this kind of slow progress and letting you go through it in a way that isn't rushed. Because I do think there could have been a world where it could have been rushed and it could have been glossed over 12 episodes.
Yeah, for sure.
It wouldn't have been good, but I think it could have been done.
Well, I think the problem is right now that there is so much anime being made, and most of them
You have to do it in 12 episodes, right?
And most of them are 12 episodes, right? So even if you have a banger 12 episodes, just by having 24 episodes, it will stick out more in people's minds because they've consumed more of it compared to like other shows. And I'm looking at a lot of these like 12 episode shows that I've watched, and a lot of them I know, like I think the last one that had like a massive impact was probably like Bocce the Rock, but that's because it was like something new, I can't really think of a lot of 12 episode shows that stick in people's mind years after they air, whereas I think now like the meta is having longer running series run over multiple seasons.
And also releasing them in a way that it makes sense. Like, I mean, again, we spoke about this on a prior podcast, but JoJo hype was killed by how it was released on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I think if that was just, they were like, hold up, let's just wait an extra year and a half or 2 years and let's just drop it all in one go, it would have done better. Or I think even better yet, I kind of prefer just the weekly model. as the older I've gotten, and I don't know why.
No,
the more
I can't.
The more I kind of like the weekly model a lot. I'm like, yeah, I like this. I can get invested over a course of a long period of time.
I fucked myself over with Oshinoko and Hell's Paradise, and I hate it. I hate waiting a week for an episode.
You hate that? I like that.
I'm like, I just want to watch the next episode.
And I think one of the things I like most about that is that the show can come out and I can reflect on my life as the show is coming out. Because sometimes
what the fuck does that mean?
Because like sometimes it's like a 50 episode series, right?
Yeah.
And I can be like, damn, I've been watching this for a whole year, and I can think about how I've had this whole thing to look forward to, and I can think back to like where I was.
It ain't
when I
that
was
deep,
watching.
dog.
But I really like that. I don't know why. Like being a part of something for that long is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Whereas when you binge it, I don't feel the same way.
That's what One Piece fans say.
But I genuinely think like One Piece fans, they must get some, like there's, because, obviously I'm still reading it, but I'm not reading it like weekly, but it must be kind of cool to follow something like One Piece fans who've been following it for like 10 plus years. It must be pretty fucking cool to follow One Piece and have it kind of follow your like life. That's kind of, that's, you grow up with it. Like that's kind of sick.
I mean, as that One Piece fan, and also as someone who's had some franchises that's happened to me before, I think the biggest one that sticks out in my mind is Ava. Ava wasn't exactly a weekly show. It wasn't exactly a weekly wait to get the next piece of Ava, but I waited. We were Ava fans. We waited, and seeing it come to an end after fucking 25.
And then you can imagine how you were when you first watched the second one or the
first
one.
You
exactly. Kind of look back and like,
and you look back, but
cool.
I feel like a year is not enough time for me to be like emotionally invested enough to be like, I watched this for
how much
50
changes
weeks.
in a year. I think it's important to self-reflect on your past year.
Because like for me, my biggest thing I look for whenever I watch anything, doesn't even matter if it's anime, is just to get like immersed in the story, right?
Of course.
That's why I'm fine with watching US TV shows a lot of the time weekly, because they're like an hour long. 20 minutes is barely enough time.
It's not enough,
Yeah, it's barely enough time for me to like properly get immersed in a story. And
which is why I love it then, because I feel super good that when maybe one week I got super busy and I couldn't watch the show, and then you have 2 episodes to watch, you're like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Grab the popcorn, get a drink.
40 minutes? Yeah. I don't know. I think someone else must be relating to this. It feels like such a treat. When you
I get the sentiment you're going
it's
through.
so nice,
I've just never done it myself.
I don't know.
I've tried doing it,
and I'm sure Jujutsu Kaisen will be like that for me, because I'm going to try my goddamn hardest to not watch for the first few weeks, so that I can, because a lot of anime suffer from the first few episodes
Shonen's
being kind of
worse, man. Shonen's even
well,
worse.
it's like my personal rule with Demon Slayer. From like the past, like from the second arc onwards, I was like, I'm not watching a goddamn episode till episode 8 is out.
Yeah,
because it's you just get blue balled till episode 8.
Yeah,
like nothing happens most of the time, except the sword arc. I did that rule, and then like 2 episodes in, stuff started happening. I was like, oh, okay, that's good.
I just wait till the whole season's over so I can just binge it.
I need at least like five episodes. I watch like 5 episodes.
Because that's how I get properly hooked.
Yeah.
That I have that 5 or 6 episode binge.
Yeah.
And then I can be like, now I'm ready to wait weekly. I know it's worth it.
No, with Shonen, it's okay. There are some series I can maybe like bend the rules and watch weekly. Shonen is nigh on impossible, because the amount of times I've tried this before where I've watched it, it's the first episode of the fights. You are just getting invested and you're like, damn, shit's about to pop off. Episode ends. So you wait a week. You're like, I've forgotten what's happened. Oh yeah, they were in a fight. Okay, let's. It's about to pop off. And then there's always like the 3-stage act in the fight where at first it looks like things are going well, or maybe this time the protagonist is losing. And you're in my mind, I'm just like, okay, I'm waiting for the episode where the protagonist turns it around.
Yeah.
And it's not that episode. It's the next episode. So I got to invest myself again, wait a week, and then in a single fight, last 3 fucking weeks, I'm like, I didn't even.
Third part is protagonist makes a realization about themselves and uses that knowledge to fight and win.
And I'm like, shit, this is enough. This is enough time for me to use my brain. You know, I'm like, I know what's going to happen, and you know, it's not enough time to like reinvest back into that fight to really see the hype moment where the protagonist turns it around, or that hype moment happens in the fights. You know,
true.
Especially with shonen, there needs to be like a natural progression in the fights.
But Bochi the Rock.